supplement of my testament to students studying critical medical anthropology by Mitsubishi Ikeda, Osaka University, Toyonaka, Japan. Over there, in the 1980s, our project community, Total Conversion for Medical Modern Public Health based on paternalism, is not different from medical missionary work, medical mission of the colonial era. When I was writing the paper about the story mentioned above, later entitled Health Promotion and Health Ideology, I guess that I had not yet arrived at this perception of medical anthropology as medical missionary work. There, I was probably stuck in the dogma that it is the residents who change their ideas and actions through health and medical treatment project, not to medical anthropologists themselves, who change their own ideas and attitude. I began studying in medical anthropology in 1981. There were 4 heroes for me at that time. In order of their birth date, they are Rudolf Carl Virchow, George Hand, William Halse Rivers, and Paul-Michel Foucault. Foucault was born in the same year as my mentor Yonezo Nakagawa. Virchow and Rivers were well known as the founder of medical anthropology in the Anglo-American world. Each of them is an unique and brilliant individual who was influenced my books and articles in various ways. Virchow brought us a practical challenge at the roots of medical anthropology with his dictum, medicine is a social science to the bone. W.H.R. Rivers was psychiatrist who, along with Sigmund Freud, described war neurosis or shell shock, a kind of combat fatigue considered to be related to syndrome of post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. He was established the genealogical method, a significant advance in kinship research. On the other hand, he participated in the Cambridge University Trace Strait expeditions organized by Alfred Colt Haddon, and argued that apart from their capacity for equity, the savages, quoted savages, had no psychological differences in their repertory of sensibilities, and the language and metaphor provided diversity in illness expression and classification. In particular, W.H.R. Rivers suggested that the classification of sickness was as systematic in uncivilized society as quoted as compatible to the Western taxonomy of disease or nosology. Foucault not only developed the concept of biopower, but also considers the concept of governing, the term governmentality, how to govern people and society through biomedicine and demography. Today, the concept of governmentality was become an essential analytical tool for many researchers analyzing the public health and medical ethics. Many of you may not know George Hunt. However, he is called as Kesserid, a sorcerer or shaman who appears pseudonymously in Franz Boas' ethnography of Kwakiutl today as the Kwakwakawak. In the chapter of Sorcerer and His Magic in Levi-Strauss' monumental book entitled as Structural Anthropology, published in 1963, translated from French to English. Among many anthropologists, it is known the name of Kesserid. However, known his real name, George Hunt. I learned that Kesserid was George Hunt from James Clifford's book, The Predicament of Culture, published in 1988. Hunt's genealogical origins were both Tlingit and British, not Kwakwakawak, and he grew up in Kwakwakawak territory with his parents, and through intermarriage and adoption, became himself a native anthropologist familiar with Kwakwakawak languages and culture. Franz Boas became friends with George Hunt to exhibit the Kwakwakawak at the World Columbian Exposition in Chicago in 1893. Boas taught Hunt linguistic anthropology and phonetic notation, especially Kwakwakawak orthograph. Hunt is said to have written more than 10,000 pages of ethnographic notes of Kwakwakawak, including his biographical experience for Franz Boas. When I still read the chapter, The Sorcerer and His Magic by Levi-Strauss, through his storytelling, I'm still impressed by the autoethnography of George Hunt. That is the thing about Kesserid. It seems to me that native anthropologists can reach the inner recesses of cultural understanding without going through the dogma of cultural relativism. It also seems to me that a technique for reading across cultures is not immerse oneself in the culture of the others. The techniques for reading across culture is always to be conscious of the fact that one's own culture dissolves in the culture of the others by forgetting what one was learned. In other words, as an anthropologist himself, George Hunt could dissolve his role as sorcerer because he analyzed other healers in the culture in question by practice of his cross-cultural reading as reflexive process. The important thing is not that he took epistemological relativism, but he did not understand what is to be powerful hero among Kwakwaka'wakw through the devious and unethical performance among Indians. That is the end of supplement of my testament for all medical anthropologists. Thank you very much.